Is it just me, or does that majorly look like a face? That is one crazy knot on this tree. I guess that's his butt. Alright, so I'm going to tell you guys why I'm at this park right now. This is a place that has been recently renovated by the city that I'm in, this park. It was an extensive project, and I'll show you some of it here. But basically, this was all woods back here, and they've made it into a park with a really nice walking track. Now, the reason this is interesting to me is the location. In through this road here, you have a lot of older homes, and I'm not too far away from the city center. And you'll see there, I'm going to show it up close, there's a chimney from a house that used to be there. I'll show it up close, and they preserved it and put like a little pavilion around it now. I apologize for the wind noise. Now, they have all these random mounds of dirt that they've been pushing around to clear all these drains out. And I'm just looking in here to see if there's old stuff to show me that there's been activity in this area. And just looking in this pile, I'm finding old milk glass like this. So if they just randomly found old pieces like this while clearing, drains out in the middle of what would have been, more dense woods not too long ago, it's probably all from that home site there. And who knows, there could have been other stuff here in the past too. I'm not exactly sure. But I'm gonna look around here a little bit longer, see if there's any old glass or anything else. There's a lot of modern trash in here too, like pieces of cans, modern glass, even some bits of plastic, but some old stuff mixed in there. So I think I'm gonna bust the detector out and look around here a bit. It seems like a really trashy area, but there could be some old relics that come out of here. So I'm looking where they cleared the brush from around this brook, and that's one of the piles up there. And I'm looking down here to see if I can see anything old. And you can see there's all kind of really interesting pieces of pottery and dinnerware right there. I saw something a second ago. Here you go. Here is the tip of an old bottle, but you can see that's not a screw top. So there seems to be a lot of old stuff in here. There is some old farms up along this side, and then obviously this is a very historic house that sat over here. So I'm happy to see that there's some dinnerware, porcelain, old glass and stuff like that in through here. So I'm going to keep looking around, and maybe we'll turn up a full bottle or something. Okay, so I just made an interesting find down by the bank here, and I have no idea what this is. So if somebody knows what that is, please comment and let me know, because I am clueless. Alright, I'm probably going to get a little wet doing this. This is pretty high up, but see that bottle sticking out right there? I want to check that one out. We're going to jump down in there and see what it is. Alright, let's see what it is. It's not a bottle. What is that? Fram High Mileage. It looked like a bottle sticking in this way. Alright, we'll let that there, and we'll keep looking along this bank. You see the minnows down in there? It's not a lot right here, but in some parts they're all over the place. And there's another little brook right here that runs into the other one. There's all kinds of glass back here. There's an old Coke right there. I just stepped on some glass. I got a piece of what looks like to be an old measuring glass. Got the measurements on there. And right on this flat on the top where they cleared all this brush out, there's a lot of pieces of old milk glass and various bottles. And I'm just looking around. What's this right here? That's an old tile, half of one. What do you think on that? 1960s-ish? But there's definitely older glass in here too. That Coke bottle's probably a little older than that, but I'm sure there's quite a large range from this house that used to stand here. And there's some more of that tile. And it's obvious that there was other activity in here as well from the farms in behind, so no telling what could be back up and through here. But I'm just looking on this flat up here where they leveled all this, and let's see if I can find where I was at before. I set this one right here next to it. You can see just big pieces of milk glass all over the place. It looks like they probably hammered a cold cream jar or something with a dozer there, because there's a bunch of pieces right here. And you can see a lot of this is really thick, older glass too. So I'm going to keep looking around, and I'm probably going to get the detector out here in a little bit. Maybe they pushed around some old coins on the top. Is that a little reflector? Or at least the top of one anyway. It's missing the metal part. What's down over here? I just found this, and I have no idea what that is. I was gonna say it looked like some kind of skillet or something, but it's got a nail coming up through the bottom of it. That's a weird one. No idea. I came onto the back of the property just looking around back here, and I did get the detector out, but I'll tell you what, there's so much garbage in here, it's pretty much impossible to detect unless you just want to dig everything. But I came in back here. This probably explains some of the glass and things like that. There's the barn from one of the farms up on the hill here. You can see how this has been eroding, and there's a lot of ash here, like they've been doing some burning. You can just see glass and old brick and all kinds of stuff laying in up there. So over that hillside, I'm assuming at some point back in the day this was a dump, and this is where they threw all their bottles and trash and all kinds of different stuff. There's stuff from a house remodel that looks like in the 60s and 70s, like a lot of older style tile and things like that thrown in back through here. But I'll keep poking around. Since I'm finding so much glass, I'm hoping to find a few marbles or something, but I haven't seen any yet. So there's a shot of the chimney that they turned into a shelter. It's definitely an old chimney. I'm assuming the house that was here was from the 1800s, but I'm not certain. I'll have to do the research on that. But alright, didn't really find much because I came into this area here that's more clear, but there's been too much groundwork done. I can't find anything other than loads of trash. The only semi-interesting thing I dug up with the detector was an old brass shell casing right over this way. So I'm going to pack it in and see where the road takes us. So I have permission to look around this house, naturally right as the wind picks up. It was built in 1928. It's on an awesome corner lot by these huge trees. I'm supposed to be home by now, but I took some bunch of slow roads on the way back and ended up here and knocked this place. This church over here was built in 1951. There's another big old tree. And the homeowners aren't here. I had talked to them for about 20 minutes before they left. Really nice people, and they actually had a bunch of old coins in their house that they had me look through and help them with the value of them. They had about $300 worth of old coins. They actually had a big bag of silver Washington quarters. So it was pretty cool that I was able to help them out with those. They said there was a, I think it was a pawn dealer or something a while back had offered them like $250 for the coins they had. So it was pretty neat, but I have full reign over this whole corner lot here. And anyhow, I dug a penny from the 80s right by the sidewalk. And here's my first deep coin. It's about 5 inches. Doesn't seem like a lot of targets here. I've been swinging around 5 minutes, but found this. It was pretty deep signal. And oh boy, that is a nice older one. 1925. Awesome. So it does seem like the ground's original here. Yeah, like a nice 5-inch signal on this soil. That would be about where it would naturally sink. So hopefully we'll pull some other goodies out of here. That's an awesome start. The ground is pretty quiet here, but I just popped this big plug, had a nice deep signal, and actually when I was pulling this out of the hole, like after I cut my plug, it rolled down my shovel, so it must have fell off the bottom of here into my shovel and plunked back into the hole. Let's see how old this is. It's a wheat penny. Look how nice condition it is. The soil, the soft soil in this yard is not very acidic, and it's preserving the coins quite well. I can tell even though I've only found a few so far. Let me clean that up a second, we'll see the date. Not sure how well you can see it on there, but it's a 1941D. On to the next. I'm right here by the base of the tree and got a pretty weird but solid signal coming in around 79. Pulled this penny out of the hole, but you can see it's blue on the back, and that always means that it was stuck to something. And you can hear it with a pinpointer. There's another one. Now, how old are these? Well, that one's 1972, so I don't think these are too old. I think that one's high relief, so from the 60s. But it's a coin spill, and there's still more in there. I knew there'd be at least one more. I can feel something. Ooh, is that a nickel? Yeah, a Jefferson nickel. Let's see what the year is on that one. 1964, it doesn't surprise me. They minted so many in that year, over 1 billion. Well, there may be some more in there. I'm gonna fish around this hole a minute. It's a little difficult doing it live with the roots. But actually, yeah, let's do it live. So we're kind of close to the silver range. 1972 and a couple from the one from the 60s. There's another penny there. That one's copper. I think that one's high relief, so that's probably mid 60s-ish. So it seems like the newest coin out of the spill is going to be probably 1972. Ooh, that's another nickel. $1972. So yeah, these have been down there for a while. 2 nickels and 3 pennies. And I think that's it, but I'll check it again with the detector. Not a bad spill, probably from 1972, 73, maybe 74. That's awesome. Love me an old coin spill. Still working out from the base of that tree. Had a nice deep signal here. Took me about 3 minutes to get down at this one under all these roots down in there. But I got down in there about 7 inches deep. And whoo, just as the sun came out. It is a wheat penny, but it's another oldie. 1927. Awesome. I like how there's some coins in here from right around when the house was built. This was obviously a happening street corner. So happy to find that, and hopefully there's more. Alrighty, so a state trooper just stopped by. He had to be at one of the houses across the street here, I'm not sure why, but he pulled in behind me, and he was punching in my license plate number, I guess just to play it safe, and I went up to the vehicle and he asked me if I had permission to be here, and I told him I talked to the property owner, so he was probably just taking down my plate number as a precaution in case somebody called, but it was all good. So I told him I had permission to be here. I told him the guy's name. That's why you always get the name of the person of the property that you're hunting around that owns it, or who is at least living there. That way you can name drop, and that's a huge thing if you can tell them the name of the person that lives here. So I told him the guy's name. He took off. We're all set, and I have a really good signal. I just want to show it before I dig it up. I marked it with this little twig here. Unless maybe that twig blew around in the wind a little bit. I know I had that signal here somewhere. Okay, well, let me find it, and then I will turn the camera back on. It's a nice deep high tone. I'm on the side of the house now, and I've already filled this hole back in, but really deep. I got what looks to be the piece of a mangled old buckle, and you can see it's going to have a patent on it. I think it says Pat right there, so it may have a date on it. That's cool. It looks like it was silver plated at some point. You guys know what it means when the glove comes off. I had a really deep signal here. You can see the size of this plug. It's already about 7 inches, and I got way down in the bottom here, and I saw a little flick of silver there. Little glimpse of silver. Ooh, that looks old. It's a mercury dime. Don't want to rub it. Man, that's a worn one. It's got to be an older one. Let's just try to push that off the date here. And don't worry, I'm not using a fingernail. I'm just touching the dirt. I'm just trying to loosen up the dirt. And it doesn't want to come off. I don't want to push that dirt around. Let me clean it up a second, we'll check the date. Sweet. I'll check for a mint mark later, but awesome, look at that. It's very worn, but it's a 1919. There are some old coins in here. Awesome. That was deep. Okay, so you know that signal I never showed and said I was gonna look for it? See that little white thingy right there? And then I put a stick right there. I found the wrong place I marked, because if you come over here, there's a little white thing under my coil, and that's the stick I put there. I did not put that there. That's why I couldn't find it. So I finally found it coming back over the yard again. And you can hear the signal. It's a deep one. Woo, the wind picked up. When you hit it the right way, it bounces high 90s and it's deep. That could be a silver. So yeah, let's try it live. You guys like live, right? Because I have a feeling this is a coin and at least a penny. A wheat penny, anyway, at least. So let's hope it's a silver, though. Silver dime, come on. Alrighty. These roots make it tough to work with, but we are just about there. A little bit deeper. And of course, it's going to be under a root. That should have loosened it up there. Ugh. Come on, get out of there, roots. Still down there a little bit more. Gotta go under that root. Come on. Ugh. Good grief. Yeah, it's up a little bit higher. There's some iron under there. That's why it's making me go on a wild goose chase in the wrong part of the hole. Not a juice gaze, a goose chase. Oh, there it is. Finally. It's not a silver, but as I said, I knew it was going to be old because of the depth. It is a wheat penny. Let's check the date. Excuse me. I couldn't see the date on that last wheat penny. It was too caked with dirt. I got a wheat penny signal here down about 6 inches. Yeah, more like 5. I thought it was going to be a wheat penny, but it's a really old pin. It's really cool looking. That'll look good cleaned up. Hopefully I can still see a design on it. But I think I swallowed a little bit of dirt. Gotta get some water, and I gotta change my camera battery. Ooh, that sun is hot. I'm gonna have to get my shade hat on, but hey, I can't complain. It was supposed to rain today. I wasn't even expecting to be detecting on the last day of my trip here. You can see the imprint there. I'm close to the backyard now, right by this garage right here, and the back entrance. And 3 inches down, got another wheat penny. It's another pretty old one. It's 1936. Not sure how well you can see that on there. Awesome. We're gonna finish this one live. I had a nice high signal and I'm down at it, literally right on top of it. I'm about 4 to 5 inches down, closer to 4. We'll see if this one's a silver. Did sound like a coin. And it's not a silver, but it is a wheat penny. Yep, that's a wheat penny. You can see the 1 cent on the back. Another one! Woohoo! Working the front of this big tree now. I found that mercury dime over this way, and there goes the wind again. Right down in this hole, I just found the oldest coin so far. It kind of dried. You can kind of see it there. It's a 1918 wheat penny. Man, there's some old stuff in here. Awesome old intersection, even though the house was built in 28. I'm sure there was a few other things around here back in the day. So sweet. Can you hear the church bells? Down in that hole blasting signal, the frame of a toy car. Doesn't look too old. Maybe 80s or 90s on that one. Way on the side now toward the end of the property, and another wheat penny. I think this one's 1930. I was gonna say 36, but it looks like 1930. The Wheaties in here are old, but signals are drying up. I'll probably be done in about 20 minutes. Alright, pretty deep in that hole. I had to go down underneath this rock. Maybe this little part of the yard had a little bit of excavation done, but I just found a brass shell casing. This one looks like it's probably around World War II era. That's pretty cool. It's in good shape. It's not cracked anywhere. Alright, this sucker was deep. I just popped it off the bottom of the hole right there. You can kind of see where it's darker. Man, good 8 inches down, laying completely flat. That's why the signal came in so well. Warped back 10 years from the last one, 1920. And actually, it looks like it may have a mint mark there. I think it's a 1920D. That's a half decent find right there. Maybe we'll get another old silver. I'm thinking there may have been an older home in the lot next to this here. It's possible. But most of the coins I'm finding would have been dropped probably around the time this place was built, so could have been something here before then. I didn't show this when I dug it, but it's some kind of little old knife. You can see the blade in there is all rusted out. I don't know if there was multiple blades in there because it looks like there was one out which snapped off. But neat. Love finding these little old knives. So the guy that lives here wanted me to leave him a note and let him know what I found, so I'm going to go put this in by his door, and then I'm heading home. About 2 hours driving. I'm beat. See ya! Okay, so we're going to do a quick wrap up. This is one of those hunts that everything just got a lot better after cleaning it up. Anyhow, I found quite a bit of modern change there. I didn't show it because I was in a time crunch. But there was quite a few modern quarter spills. I think all of those were from like 2 or 3 holes at the most. But I got about $2 in modern change. And over to the interesting stuff, that knife that I found is actually pretty cool. It was probably a really neat one before all of the wood handle decomposed. But it has this little thing here that's brass that flips up and down, which I believe, because you could, and if this wasn't rusted here, you could flip it the whole way around. And I believe that was to hold your blades in. I could be wrong on that. Maybe it was to clip something onto it, but if you know, let me know. And it actually has mother of pearl on the handle of it. When I started cleaning it off, I was really surprised to see that. So this would have been a really fancy knife at one point. And when I saw the mother of pearl, I didn't clean it more extensively because it's kind of fragile. But that was really cool. And that pin turns out to be a pretty old one. I think this is probably Art Deco period, sometime after the Victorian era. I'm guessing this pin is probably from around the 1920s. But really cool design there. An old lady's pin. I was surprised how much of the detail was still on it when I was able to clean it off. And you can tell it still has a lot of gold gilt on it. This would have been very pretty when it was brand new. That buckle, it's pretty corroded. I can't see everything on it. But I gotta finish cleaning it out. It really smells like sulfur. Kind of like dog crap. It smells really bad. Some kind of chemical reaction with the metals in there. But it does say patented on there somehow. But I gotta clean that up a little bit more. Now the coins, the old coins is what really surprised me. Pretty much all of these are older than I'm used to digging in lawns like that. So I'm not sure if they were all dropped around the time the house was built. That church that was next door that was built in 1951 was originally founded in 1899. So it's possible that the original church could have stood on the site where they have the new church. I'm not sure. But anyway, I cleaned up all the wheat pennies and look how old they are. That one there, well, I'll show this one up close because that's the oldest one. Just missed an Indian head on that one. 1910. So that's over 100 years old. And then there is a 1917, 1918, a 1920D, which has a lot of detail on it. Now, if that didn't have environmental damage, it'd be about a $5 coin, but in that condition, probably like 50 cents. And there's a 1925, a 1927, 1930, 1936, and the newest wheat penny is 1941D. Normally I dig a bunch of the ones from the 40s and 50s, and of course I got the 1919S Mercury dime, which is a fairly decent coin too. Now if this was in like extra fine condition and had a lot of detail, it would actually be about a $40 coin, but in this condition, just like a fraction of that, probably like $3 to $4, but still pretty cool. A lot of neat stuff came out of the ground. And by the way, this video was not clickbait. I was metal detecting in London, Kentucky. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to subscribe for more. My next adventure is always just around the corner. Take care and happy treasure hunting.